In this problem, I want to find the indicated derivative of the function, and in this particular case, that's the fourth derivative of the function y equals 2x to the fifth minus 3x squared minus 5x plus 1. So I'm going to start by finding the first derivative, dy dx, and this is going to be 5 times 2 is 10, so we take the exponent 5 times the coefficient 2, and we reduce the exponent by 1, so that's 10x to the fourth minus 6x minus 5, and then the derivative of the constant term is just 0. So now I'll take the second derivative, and this is going to be 40x to the 3 minus 6. So we had 4 times the coefficient 10 is 40, and we reduce the exponent by 1, and so that gives us 40x to the third, and then the derivative of negative 6x is just negative 6. And of course the derivative of the constant term is 0. So that takes us to the third derivative. And the derivative of 40x to the third is 120x squared. And derivative of negative 6 is just 0. So now we're just about at the end. And the fourth derivative of y is 240, 2 times the 120, reduce the exponent by 1, and I get 240x. So that would be choice C. Now let's take a look at question 66. And here I want to find the third derivative of y equals 1 over x plus 1. So what I'm going to do in this case, it's not as easy. The previous one, we just had a nice plain polynomial. That's really straightforward. Here I'm going to rewrite my function y as x plus 1 to the negative 1 power. That's going to make it easier to find my derivative. Because this way I don't have to use the quotient rule, I just use the power rule. So the derivative of y, of course, is dy dx. And so I take my exponent, write it out front, x plus 1, reduce my exponent by 1, so now it's negative 2, and then I multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is just 1, so didn't really need to do that. So I have negative x plus 1 to the negative 2 power, and I'm going to leave it just like that, because now I have to take the second derivative, and I take my negative 2 exponent, multiply it by the coefficient out front, so that's going to be a positive 2. And then I have x plus 1. Reduce my exponent by 1, so negative 2 minus 1 gives me negative 3. And then multiply by 1. I'm not going to bother doing that because it's just the same. So we have 2 times x plus 1 to the negative 3. So now we're ready to do the third derivative. We're going to find the third derivative, and negative 3 times 2 gives me negative 6 times, x plus 1 to the negative 4. And that is my final answer, and that matches up with choice B. right? Yes. So that is my final answer.